Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Welcome to this morning's Srimad Bhagavatam class from Canto 1, Chapter 7, Text 24. And this is a recording of a class given by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. We request that you kick up your listening devices, the volume a little bit, because sometimes these volumes here of the recorded lectures by Srila Prabhupada is a little low. Without further ado, we'll start the class. Hare Krishna.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
characterized by religion and so on, for the ultimate good of the conditioned souls.
सैव जीवलोकस्य मायामोहित चेतसा विदत्से सेन विज्ञेन श्रेय धर्मादि लक्षणम. So, saw Krishna, who is described in the previous verse, Tam Adya Purusha, the original person. Original person, absolute truth, that is described in the Vedanta Sutra, Janmadasya Jataha, original person, just like in our family wise or Guru Parampara wise, there is somebody original person. So, similarly, the whole creation, there is original person. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is said, Aham asan agre, Aham asam agre. In the Vedic literature, Eka Narayana asit. So, Eko Narayana asit, that is original person. And Krishna says, Aham agre asit. So he is the original person, Adyam. In the Bhagavad Gita also it is said, Param Brahma Parang Dhama Pavitram Paramam Bhava Purusham Adyam. So Krishna is the original person. And if somebody questions that if Krishna is the original person, who is the origin of Krishna? Naturally, we can ask that because our experience is different. That answer is there in the Brahma Samhita. Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Anadi Adi. Anadi Adi. He is Adi Addam Purusham. But if you question who is the cause of Krishna, Anadi, he has no cause. That is God. You go on searching after, one after another, my origin is my father's origin is his father's origin is his father. In this way, you go on researching, then come to Brahma. Brahma is Adi Kavi. In this material world, in this universe, Adi Kavi. Tene Brahma Rida Adi Kavaye. So he is very Adi, original, first created being. Then who is he is Adi, where from Brahma is coming? That is Krishna. Tene Brahma Rida Adi Kavaye. So, in this way, when we come to Krishna, making a Brahma is coming from Vishnu, Garbhodakshai Vishnu, Swayambhu. He is born of the lotus flower. That Garbhodakshai Vishnu is coming from Karanodakshai Vishnu. Karanodakshai Vishnu is coming from Sankarshan. Sankarshan is coming from Aniruddha from Pradyumna, like that. Ultimately, Krishna. Therefore, Krishna is Adyam. And Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Matta Parataram Nanya. There is no word. Well, that is God. You go on researching, Adyam. When you come to a point, there is no more Adyam. Oh, that is God. Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Anadi Radi Govinda Sarvakarana Karanam. Saiva, that Adi Purush, that original person, he comes down, descends in this material world. Jiva-loka. This is called Jiva-loka. This material is called Jiva-loka because here Atma, the soul is covered, conditioned. We have given the meaning, Jiva-loka means when the Atma is conditioned, that is called Jiva-loka. There is no freedom. It's like there are so many planets. You have got aeroplane, but because you have got aeroplane, you cannot go there. Condition. You cannot go. They are trying 1, 2 planets, moon planet or Mars planet. No, you cannot go there. What to speak of other planets? If you want to go there, then you have to qualify yourself. Not that because you have got a machine, you can go there. No, that is not possible. Therefore, condition. Condition means you have to fulfill the condition. Just like from here, if I want to go to America, then I have to fulfill the condition. The visa condition, the passport condition, the health condition, the custom condition, so many conditions. You cannot go immediately, or nobody can come from there also. In every respect we are conditioned. Every respect. This body is conditioned. You cannot enjoy this body unconditionally. No, that is not possible. You have to change. Dehinasmin yatha dehi, kaumarang jauvanang jara. The body has to be changed. A baby has to be changed to become a boy. A boy has to be changed to become a young man. A young man has to be changed to an old man. You cannot stop that. Therefore, it is called Jiva-loka, condition. Every one of us is conditioned. Animal is conditioned. He cannot, there are so many animals in the jungles. They are conditioned. They cannot come in the city or in the town. We are conditioned. We cannot go to the jungle. Condition. Every step there is condition. So that is our bondage. We are Mamaivangsha Jiva Bhuta. We are part and parcel of Krishna. Why you are conditioned? The condition is because Maya Mohita Chetasa. Maya Mohita. They are bewildered by Maya. Maya means what is not. Maya. So, because we are under the clutches of Maya, this material world, therefore we have been conditioned. And what is that Maya? That Maya is forgetfulness of our relationship with God. That is Maya. Krishna bhuliya, jeev bhogavansha kare. This jeev. When we forget Krishna, our relationship with Krishna, what is the relationship? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Jiver Sarupaya Nitya Krishna Das. That is our relationship. We are eternal servant of Krishna. When we forget this and we want to be master of all I serve, I am the monarch of all I serve, I think I shall become independent and I shall enjoy, I shall improve my economic condition, and I shall be very happy. This is called Maya Mohita Chetas. He will never be, because he is conditioned. You cannot improve, that is not possible. That is called destiny. So the Western people, they say, why should we animal take? You cannot improve the condition. Suppose the pig, he is conditioned to live in a very filthy place and eat stool, urine. You cannot improve that condition. By philanthropic mentality, if you want to improve his condition, not to live in filthy place, not to eat stool, if you try to give them halwa instead of stool, they cannot. That is not possible. This is called condition. Therefore, Shastra says that you are conditioned, you cannot change the condition, so there is no need of endeavoring for changing the condition. That is not possible. Devi Jesa Gunamayi Mama Maya Durattvaya, Krishna says. Maya Mama Maya Durattvaya. It is not that. Suppose if you are in the prison house, you are shackled. You cannot improve your condition. You must be shackled. You are put in a cell. You must live there. Similarly, this is useless effort. The so-called Maya Mahita Chetasa, the whole material world is like that. They are trying to improve the condition. But that is not possible. Therefore they are called Maya Mohita Chetas. Simply he is thinking that if I do like this, if I go a step forward, I shall improve my condition. No, that is not possible. Again and again, there is described in another place that Nati vidu sarthagating hi Vishnu durashayaji bahirathamanina andajatha punah punachar vitacharvanana matinna krishne parato sato va mitho vipaddita grihabhratana grihabhratana matinna krishne. Those who have taken it a vow that I shall remain in this family life and improve my condition, grihabhratana, grihabhrata, grihastha and grihabhrata are different. Grihastha means grihastha ashram. A man is living with husband and wife or children, but the aim is how to improve spiritual life. That is grihastha ashram. And one who has no such aim, he simply wants to enjoy the senses, and for that purpose he is decorating the house, decorating the wife, children. That is called grihabhrata. Or grihamedhi. In Sanskrit there are different terms for different meaning. So, those who are grihabhrata, they cannot be Krishna conscious. Matinna Krishne parato satova. Parato means by the instruction of Guru or instruction of authority, parato. And satova, sata means automatically. Automatically is not possible even by instruction. Because his vow is that I shall remain in this way, grihabhratana. Matinna Krishne parato sato va mitho vipaddita, mitho, but by conference, by meeting, by passing resolution, if we want to become Krishna conscious, that is not possible. It is all individual. I have to surrender to Krishna individually. Just like when you go to the sky on aeroplane, it is all individual. If one aeroplane is in danger, other aeroplane cannot save it. That is not possible. Similarly, it is all individual. It is not parato sato va. One has to take it seriously, personally, that Krishna wants, so I will surrender. Krishna says, Sarvadharman parityajya mamekam saranam bhaja, so I will do it. Not that when my father will do, then I shall do, or my husband will do, then I shall do, or my wife will do. No. It is all individual. It is all individual. And there is no restraint. There is no restraint. Ahito ki apratihata. If you want to surrender to Krishna, nobody can check you. Ahito ki apratihata. Jeno atma samprasidati. When you do that individually, collectively, if it is done, it is good. But it has to be done individually. So, because every one of us are maya mahita cheta. Maya mahita cheta. Prahlad Maharaj has described vimukha cetasa. Maya mahita cetasa means averse to Krishna. I want everything except Krishna. That is maya mahita cetasa. I want everything, but except Krishna. That is my missing point. Because we are rascals, fools, we do not know what we should want. Nate vidu sat gating hi Vishnu. He does not know that his actual want is Krishna. It's like a small child crying. And we are trying to pacify him, giving this, giving that. But he is crying, because his actual want is his mother. And as soon as the mother comes, takes the child on the lap, immediately he stops. Similarly, we want Krishna because we are part and parcel of Krishna. That we want. Just like a part and parcel of a machine. If it is taken away from the machine, it has no one screw. Suppose your typewriter machine, one screw is missing and the machine is not working nicely. So without the machine, that one screw has no value. If it is lying somewhere, one does not know what is the screw, nobody cares for it. It is no worth. But if you want to complete the machine, if you want to go to purchase it in a mechanical shop, that very screw, which has no value, you have to purchase at 10 rupees. Because it is to be fit up. In this way, we are part and parcel of Krishna, part and parcel of Krishna. When we are along with Krishna, we have got value. Otherwise, there is no value. There are so many examples. This finger, when it is attached to the body, if there is any trouble, you can spend thousands of rupees to cure the trouble. But if the finger is cut out, amputated, and thrown on the street, it has no value. No value. Similarly, so long we are maya mahita cetasa, out of Krishna's touch, we have no value. No value. Valueless. Useless. That is our position. Matinna Krishna parato sato va. Mitho. The position is that adanta gobhi visatang tamisram. When we forget Krishna, What is that forgetfulness? When you are interested in sense gratification, that is called forgetfulness. Everyone is, even an animal, a small insect, everyone is interested in sense enjoyment. Just this morning I was reading in the Bhagavad, one Saubhari Muni, he was a great yogi, and within the water he was executing the yoga mystic, and he saw that the two fishes are enjoying sex. So he became sexually inclined, old man, yogi. So he went to Mandata king that you give me one daughter, your daughter. So he was within the water, old man, and old man's bodily feature is not very good. The king knew that this is a useless person, but he is a yogi. He has come to ask me for a daughter. So he said that, yes, you are welcome. I have got my 50 daughters. So anyone who will like you, he can accept. I have no objection. So Saubhari Muni understood that the king has tactfully avoided to give his daughter. So he was a yogi, so he made himself very beautiful young man. That yogi can do that. They can change, because we are not this body. The body is old, it can be younger, but it can be older. Nowadays in medical science they are also doing. A man is woman, woman is man. Body can be changed. There is no difficulty if you know the process. So he changed to be very nice, beautiful young man. So all the 50 daughters, they become attracted. They began to fight. Oh, he is for me, he is not for you. So anyway, he accepted all the 50 daughters. In this way, he became very elevated householder. But at some time he began to think, what is my this enjoyment? Simply by seeing the sex affairs of the fish, I was a yogi, I was a tapasvi, I have lost everything. Now I am a householder and pet husband of this woman. So he came to his senses. Again he went to the forest for tapasya. So this material life, however opulent it may be, it is maya mohita chetas. It has no value. It has no value. Why? Because in this life I may be very favorably situated by arrangement, by improving my material condition. But after death, dehantara prapti, you do not know. We do not know what kind of body we are going to get. It may not be as comfortable. The Kurmis, those who are little advanced than the ordinary foolish persons, there are, first of all, ordinary foolish person means animals. They are just like animals. A little above that, they are Kurmis. A little above that, there are Gyanis. A little above that, there is Yogis. And above all of them is the Bhakta. That the Bhakta life is the samambona of life. So Krishna comes here, Saeva Jiva Lokasya Mamahita Chetasa Vidhase Sena Vidyena. Krishna comes down. It is said in the Bhagavad Gita also, Jada jada hi dharmasya glani bhavati. The dharma is I am servant of Krishna. That is my position. Dharma means characteristic. Just like sugar has to become sweet, that is dharma. A chili has to be hot. A sugar, if it is chili taste, is useless. A chili is sweet taste, it is useless. So this taste of a particular thing is called dharma. So this dharma, according to the body, is developed in this material world. But the original dharma, original is the spirit soul. That spirit soul is the part and parcel of Krishna, and his duty is to serve Krishna. That is original dharma. So, in order to teach that original dharma, Krishna comes. Jada jada hi dharmasya glani bhavati. Glani means discrepance. When the conditioned soul is, by the influence of Maya, is engaged in sense gratification, that is called dharmasya glani. Jada jada hi, just like nowadays, nobody is interested. The so-called educated or advanced man, if we say that you have to serve Krishna, this is not your duty. You are going to the office and earning daily 5,000 rupees, that is simply useless. Useless. It is simply a waste of energy. Who will believe it? Nobody. This is a nonsense proposal. But Shastra says that dharmasya anusthita pumsa vishyaksena katha suja notpadayadarating jadi samayevahi kevalam. You are doing your duty very nicely. Your dharma means an occupational duty. Suppose you are an engineer. You are doing duty very nicely. Or a medical man, or a businessman, or anyone. Everyone has to do something. You cannot sit down idly and you get your livelihood. Even if you are a lion, you have to work. Nahi suptasya singhasya pravishanti mukhe mriga. This is the material world is like that. Even if you are as powerful as a lion, you cannot sleep. If you think, I am lion, I am the king of the forest, let me sleep, and the animal will come and enter in my mouth. No, that is not possible. Even if you are animal, you have to catch up the animal, then you will be able to eat. Otherwise you will have to starve. Therefore Krishna says, Niyata kuru karmatyam karma jyayo akarmanam. You must do your duty. Sarira jatrapite na prasiddhe takrama. Don't think, the rascal says the Krishna consciousness movement is teaching people to escape. They become, no, that is not Krishna's instruction. We do not allow any lazy man. He must be engaged. That is Krishna consciousness. That is Krishna's order. Niyata kuru karma. Arjuna was refusing to fight. He was trying to be non-violent gentleman. Krishna did not allow him. No, you cannot do that. That is your weakness. Kutaste kasmalamidam visamesam. You are proving yourself rascal. It is anarjajistam. This kind of proposal is for the anarja, uncivilized man. Don't do that. That is Krishna. So don't think that Krishna consciousness movement, those who are Krishna conscious, they will become lazy and imitate Haridas Thakur. That is not Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness means, as Krishna instructs, you must be very, very busy 24 hours. That is Krishna consciousness. Not to become a lazy fellow, eat and sleep. No. So, this is dharmasya glani. But you have to change your angle of vision. In the material conditioned life, your aim is how to satisfy your senses. And Krishna consciousness means you have to work in the same spirit, same vigor, but you have to satisfy Krishna. That is spiritual life. Not that to become lazy fellow. The difference is, as it is said by author Krishnadas, Atmendriya Tripti Mancha Taranam Kam. What is Kam? Kam means when one desires to satisfy his own senses. That is Kam. Krishnandriya Tripti Mancha Dhare Prem Nam. And what is Prem? Prem means when you engage to yourself for satisfying Krishna's senses. Why gopis are exalted? Because their only endeavor was to satisfy Krishna's senses. Therefore Chaitanya Mahaprabhu recommended Brahma Kachi Upasana Brajabadhu Varga Bija Kalipita. They had no other business. Vrindavan means those who are in Vrindavan, if they actually want to live in Vrindavan, their business would be how to satisfy the senses of Krishna. That is Vrindavan. And not that I am living in Vrindavan and trying to satisfy my senses. That is not Vrindavan. That kind of living is, there are so many monkeys, dogs and hogs also, they are in Vrindavan. Do you mean to say that they are living in Vrindavan? No. Anyone who wants to satisfy senses in Vrindavan, their next life is dogs, hogs and monkey. You must know that. So one should not try to sense gratify in Vrindavan. That's a great sin. Simply try to satisfy Krishna's sense. Sarvapadhi vininmuktam tatparatena nirmalam rishikena rishikesa sevanam bhakti ruchyate. That is bhakti. Rishikena rishikesa sevanam. So, in order to teach this lesson to us, the conditioned soul, Jivaloka, Krishna vidhase sena vidyena, by his own potency. And potency means if you surrender to Krishna, he has got such potency, he can deliver you from this conditioned life, jiva. He can make you purified, mukti, that is called mukti. When you are free from this conditioned state, this bodily conception of life, then you become free. Simply by understanding Krishna. Janma karman sati bam mein jo janati tattva takta deham punarjanma naiti. After giving up this body, he does not get any more of this material body. Then what happens to him? But takta deham punarjanma naiti mameti. Krishna comes to call you back. So he comes back. If you take Krishna's instruction, you go back to Krishna, and again you become happy. Otherwise, maya mohita cetasa, you will have to suffer life after life. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna, devotees. So this is another wonderful lecture by Srila Prabhupada, pointing so many things to us. Maya mohita cetasa, he repeated it several times. Aversion to Krishna. So, dear devotees, if you have takeaways or questions and you have some realizations, please unmute yourself and let's have some Krishna Katha. Hare Krishna. Okay.
Hare Krishna, please accept my humble obeisances, Sogas of Prabhupada. I couldn't do the full lecture. I'm going to read the transcription again, but what I heard was very powerful is how Srila Prabhupada repeatedly mentioned that we shouldn't be enjoying and be lazy in Krishna consciousness. We should always be engaged and busy. And when he was speaking about the Vrindavan, enjoying Vrindavan, I'm reminded by Mother Gita when she wanted to retire in Vrindavan, and her spiritual master, His Holiness Gopalakrishna Swami, said that is Maya. That is what he told her. And he says, you go back to America, you go back to your home in Atlanta, and you make your house Vrindavan and you preach. That is your Vrindavan. Don't get in Maya and just retire in Vrindavan because you think your service is done. So I was reminded by that, powerful how, when we think, oh, I get this, I get that. So once I get old, once I retire, I'll just go retire in Vrindavan. And Maharaj was telling Mother Gita, there is no retirement in Krishna consciousness. We should be still preaching, not just enjoying the Vrindavan. So I was reminded by that comment that Mother Gita has shared actually a few times in her classes. So I wanted to share that. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, very, very important. Thank you for sharing that message. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, in Srimad Bhagavatam, ahoitiki apatiyata. We should not serve wanting some payback for it, and it should be continuous. We should keep serving, which means there's no retirement. So, of course, the Guru knows the mind of his disciple based on Krishna giving the correct information to help the disciple to grow. In that case, Mother Gita was supposed to really preach in America rather than be in Vrindavan as a retired person and not doing much there. So the spiritual master sent her back, she and her husband, back to America to preach, and she's been preaching. Again, obeying the spiritual master's instruction is very important because this is how we grow in Krishna consciousness. This is how Srila Prabhupada spread the movement itself, by obeying Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj, whose first instruction to him to spread Krishna consciousness. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's preaching all over the world, especially in the West, in the English language. This is exactly what he did. And here we're benefiting from it wonderfully. Hare Krishna. Anyone else that wants to share some takeaways, some realizations, or want to ask a question, please unmute yourself and do so. Hare Krishna. So while the devotees are thinking about what question or realizations or connections of this wonderful lecture, I have some takeaways that I want to speak about. So Srila Prabhupada started saying that Krishna is the original person. Who is the origin of Krishna? Sometimes people say that, and he answered that by going to the Brahma Samhita, chapter 5, text 1. Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha. Anadi Adi. Anadi Adi. He is the origin of everyone, but he has no origin. So then he talks about Brahma himself. Brahma has no origin. Brahma came from Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. But Krishna has no origin. So you can, in fact, research who is a particular person, who came, person's father, and that person's father, and so on, until you get to a point where there is one individual that does not have a father. That is Krishna. He also mentioned Jivaloka, those of us, we are in this conditioned, conditioned state and in the material world. People think that they can go to different planets. You cannot go to other planets. You have to satisfy the condition there. At every stage, there's a condition. So we are part and parcel of Krishna, but we are conditioned. And when we forget this conditioned state and we decide to enjoy or try to improve, it's not possible. Why? Because everybody has destiny. And the destiny is a restriction. And he gave an example of a pig being destined to live in filthy places and eat stew. So there's no need to endeavor to change the condition. In other words, if we try to condition or improve our material life, only if it's destined to happen will it work. And so people say, oh, I did this, now I've become rich and so on. They put in effort, but somebody else tries it and they can't do any better than whatever the situation is that they're in. And sometimes even people get envious of others who have materially been able to get more. But the thing is, we all have different destinies. And Srila Prabhupada is pointing out that if you endeavor and you over endeavor and you get nowhere, that tells you that you are restricted by your destiny. That's what's really going on. There is some Savanga Sunga Damodar Das put put a text in the chat, and it's Hare Krishna, please accept my humble obeisance, all glory to the Prabhupada. Towards the end, the Prabhupada stressed on the point there is no place for laziness in Krishna consciousness. That was my takeaway. I will try to implement it. Yes, everybody has dharma, has duty. And in Krishna consciousness, yes, you have to have duty. And Srila Prabhupada gave an example of Arjuna declining to fight. And Srila Prabhupada said, you cannot do that. Among many things that he said were the reasons. One of them was that you are Arjuna, you are a Kshatriya. And your duty is to fight. That's your dharma. Therefore, you have to be involved in your dharma. So in the same way, everybody has to work, and especially in Krishna consciousness, serve with the aim of satisfying Krishna's senses. That's very important. Thank you for putting that takeaway there. So, all right. So, are there any others who want to share their takeaway or ask a question or share a realization? Please unmute yourself and do that. Hare Krishna. All right, I have a few more to add. So, Srila Prabhupada says we have to try to improve our Krishna consciousness, not the material one. So he described if we try to improve our material things, and especially since he's already explained that destiny very much plays a part in this situation, then we have to understand that putting more effort into serving Krishna will be our best bet. To try to improve materially is Maya Mohita Chetasa. It's a verse to Krishna. Maya Mohita Chetasa. So people who do that and have a household life, they are Grihavrata or Grihamedi. Grihastha is the one who is Krishna conscious. Grihavrata cannot be Krishna conscious. You can't, you just can't just pass resolutions and meetings to be Krishna conscious. No, it's individual. It's not dependent on family members. Like if my father becomes Krishna conscious, then I'll become Krishna conscious. No, it's all you. Just like he gave an example of an airplane. Yeah, the pilots can talk to you and all of that, but if if you're flying and whatever consequences happen, whatever situation happens to the machine, the consequences on the pilot, that particular person. No other plane can save that. So Maya Mohita Chetasa is being averse to Krishna. We want everything except Krishna. And that's our problem. We should connect with Krishna in service. For example, if a child is crying, you can't pacify that child. But if the mother comes, because the child wants the mother, nothing else works. But if the mother comes, then the child stops crying. So similarly, we want Krishna, but we act in a way as to not want him, so then we suffer. We want Krishna, but we involve ourselves in sense gratification. That's forgetfulness. And so he gave the example of Shivara Muni, who was doing meditations under the water, in the water, and he saw two fish engaged sexually, and he got attracted, and they went to the king to ask to marry daughters. The king looked at him. He's an old man coming, but he was a Muni, he was a yogi. So fear of being cursed, the king said, okay, you can marry any, I'll show you my daughters, 50 of them, whichever one wants you, then you marry. Thinking that since Subharamuni was a old man, that physically nobody among his daughters would be attracted to him, but the Muni had powers and knew the king's mind. So then he came back looking very, very handsome and young, and all 50 daughters wanted him. So he married all of them, but then he came to his senses later on and look, I am a yogi, so many things are coming in my life and what I'm doing. And now I've changed my life into a Griha Rata, Griha Medi type class. So he came to his senses and went back to the forest to meditate and get back to his original way in which he was living his life. So and then Sri Prabhupada did some comparison. But before I do that, still if the devotees want to talk, please unmute yourself. It doesn't have to be just one person talking all the time. You can also share some things or ask a question if you want to. Hare Krishna.
There's a comment in the chat. I think someone posted. I can't see.
Yeah, that was from
No, there is another one. I think there's another one.
Okay, I can look.
Because I see 4. Okay, now I got my glasses on.
Yeah, he posted another one.
Yeah.
It was also the same person, Damodar Prabhu. Also, he was mentioning, Sri Prabhupada was mentioning the story about the yogi using his power to change himself to useful body to enjoy. That was not great. I like the point. One needs to think if one is using the powers given, then it should be used in Krishna's service. I guess rather than sense gratification. Okay. Then, yeah, good. More comments coming. Now, Xavier, who is also chimed in, Hare Krishna. How he said it is all individual and there should be no restraint or dependence on other, whether spouse or whoever. Yes, very important point. That was my takeaway also. Krishna consciousness should be done by one. It's an individual decision to serve and satisfy Krishna's senses. It should not depend on family members or friends or what. You got to do it yourself. And it's very simple. The reason is we all have spiritual accounts. We don't have collective spiritual accounts. We have individual spiritual accounts. Therefore, when we act, we can act with a group of people. That's there. But the decision to serve and satisfy Krishna's senses is an individual decision. And so that is, that is a point that we have to be aware of. We are responsible for flying our own planes. Srila Prabhupada is given another example, like a flock of birds flying to go to a particular location. You see them in the sky. It's like one unit flying, but actually each bird is flying on his or own strength, on its own strength. If a bird is not able to fly with the rest of them and it falls down, then it doesn't mean the other birds can do anything to help them. So it's like that. Krishna consciousness is an individual decision. Everybody tries to encourage those who've been in it for a while. You see that they'll always try to encourage you in some way, but they will not push you because the decision is voluntary. It has to be. You cannot voluntarily. We cannot be forced to love Krishna. It has to be from the heart. It's always voluntary. But our account is also individual. And so we have to understand that that is the situation with us. Hare Krishna. Any other? Or did the Woody want to share some more? Okay, so everybody has to work. And finally, he just talked about Vrindavan. Vrindavan means to satisfy the senses of Krishna. Anyone who wants to satisfy the senses, their own senses in Vrindavan, will wind up being a dog or a hog or a monkey in the next life. If we surrender to Krishna, finally, we'll be delivered from the conditioned state. Then we'll be purified and be able to go back to Godhead. So the opportunity to get away from difficult life, working life, so much that we have to do in order to live this life here, and it's getting worse and worse in Kali Yuga, is to satisfy Krishna's senses. Then we won't be born again. We won't have to be in another physical body. Hare Krishna. So again, we all should be very, very thankful to Srila Prabhupada for these lectures that remind us of so much of what we need to do in these human-type bodies with the level of intelligence we have in order to free ourselves from this prison. So, dear devotees, please take that into consideration, serve each other, be kind to each other, no offenses, and then we'll grow like that. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Vanchakalpatarubhascha kripa sindhivya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Did you want to say, okay, one more thing?
Nope, nothing. Hare
Okay.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Glory to Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay.